Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of The Grandstand here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I am, as always, your host, AR, the Ohio Patriot, and for today's episode, we're going to talk about potential amendments that could be made against the left if Issue 1 doesn't pass, as well as the newest attack ad from these leftist douchebags, specifically tied to Obama, and how it actually breaks a bunch of state laws here in Ohio and should actually see these people in prison on a bunch of felonies, is what it is. So basically, there's a group out there right now called Progress Action Fund, led by a guy named Joe Jacobson, who was an Obama appointee. He was actually one of Obama's administration cabinet people, is what it was, back during his administration. This fucking guy, who we're going to discuss right now from his idiotic LinkedIn page. Hopefully there's a picture of this jackass, but who knows. Looks like there might be. So let's go ahead and grab up this LinkedIn page here. So this is the fucking clown ass bitch that's behind the attack ad here. And his about section, holding Republicans accountable one seditionist at a time, which is kind of hilarious because if you look up the term sedition, it is overt conduct such as speech and organization that tends towards rebellion against the established order, aka government. Sedition often includes subversion of the Constitution and incitement of disconduct towards or insurrection against established authority. So exactly what the fucking left has been doing for, I don't know, the past 10 years or more now, especially since 2020, when they've been doing actual fucking rioting in this country. And then the last 6 months to a year now, where they've gone through Ohio State House about 4 or 5 times and done a bunch of mini insurrection acts. I should say mini insurrections that would technically qualify as an insurrection act being declared and having these fuckers arrested on insurrection charges. Not to mention all across this fucking country. You had one in Nebraska a couple months ago where these people were literally saying, like, the next Wednesday after that, they were going to do the shit again. And it's like, bro, at what point do we start holding the left accountable at this point? Seriously. Because this is the real problem with our country currently. These fucking douchebag leftists want to sit there and act like the right's doing all this shit, when in reality, they're gaslighting everybody because they're the ones actually doing this stuff. They're the ones actually committing this treason. They're the ones actually committing this sedition. They're the ones actually committing this insurrections all across this country. And specifically, this fucking bullshit-ass attack ad that Progress Action Fund pulled, that, by the way, should see every single one of these people behind it in prison right now in the state of Ohio on fraud and deception charges, which is Democrat SuperPac launches ad hitting GOP on reproductive rights ahead of Ohio election. It says Democrat SuperPac launched an ad Tuesday targeting Republicans in Ohio on reproductive rights. Ahead of the election next month, at the center of the abortion rights battle, Progress Action Fund released a 5-figure, so at least probably $90,000 would be my guess on that one, backed ad titled Ohio Republicans in Your Bedroom that shows a couple about to have sex and reaching for a condom before being confronted by a quote-unquote Republican congressman saying, sorry, you can't use those. About the condom, adding later, now that we're in charge, we're banning birth control, which is absolute BS. And supposedly, it all stems from something that State Rep Gene Schmidt said, which is funny to me too, by the way. So you have them using a man, obviously, in this attack ad, because again, they're deceiving you, they're trying to commit deception against you. They're trying to fucking con you, like the left always goddamn does, dude. And that's why I'm so fucking sick and tired of these people. And that's where we're going to get into the amendments that we could easily use against people, including a fucking purge later on if we could get one through. Which, you know, obviously that's just for shits and giggles. We're not actually going to do a fucking purge in this country. I mean, we technically could use one, honestly, but, like, truthfully speaking, it would be, hey, you want to go fucking nuts? Let's go fucking nuts kind of thing is what it is, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, so yeah, about a year ago or so, this was right after Roe versus Wade was overturned and stuff like that. You had State Rep Gene Schmidt say she would consider banning birth control following abortion outlaw. So State Rep Gene Schmidt, during a radio interview, said that she would entertain a debate about outlawing birth control in the wake of the United States Supreme Court overturning constitutional protections for abortion. So Smith made the comments during a radio interview with Bill Cunningham, in which she said companies that provide travel expenses for employers to get abortion care, which these people use fucking abortion as birth control. Let's point that one out, by the way. could face legal consequences, as they should, said Schmidt, as they sponsored a bill in a state legislature that would eliminate abortion from a time of conception, effectively banning it in the state, as it should be at this point. You know, we have a 6-week ban in place right now in the state of Ohio. Unfortunately, it's not enforced because some fucking asshole Obama appointee again fucked us over when it came to keeping that in place and has killed who knows how many kids because of that shit now in the state of Ohio. And yet, meanwhile, on the flip side of things, you got this fucking asshole in the corner there, who is the illegal alien piece of shit who raped that little girl here, who her illegal alien fucking guardian then took her to Indiana instead of actually taking her to a clinic here in Ohio where she could have legally gotten an abortion because of it being emergency medical care at that point, and that's covered underneath our 6-week abortion ban, by the way. She took this kid to Indiana, and then you had some fucking douchebag doctor in Indiana be like, oh, well, we're going to not tell the cops about this, and legally put herself in a shitload of hot water because now she herself is facing charges, as she should be, because she did an abortion of a child without informing the state police of either state of Ohio or state of Indiana. So, anyway. Continuing on with Jean's thing here, she said, when we get back into session, we'll probably have 1 or 2 more hearings talking about the abortion ban. And then it will go before our body in the Senate for a concussive vote. Do not believe we have the votes in both chambers, and we have the full support of the governor on this bill. Or sorry, she said we do believe we have the votes for that. So Schmidt, previously called a pregnancy caused by rape an opportunity for women, said there would be no carve out for pregnancies caused by rape or incest. See, that's the problem I have with these kind of people. And this is the problem we have old rhino bitches in our state house right now. By the way, this woman was in here back in the late 90s, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in the state of Ohio. She was in our state general assembly then. And then she came back again in the last, I think it was around the 2020 election cycle, because obviously she rode the Trump train is what it was to get elected on the down ticket Republican shit. And that's the problem again. Stop voting for people down ticket based on shit like that, dude. Find the best candidate in a fucking primary and vote for that person. And then make sure that that person actually wins the seat. Because otherwise you got career pieces of shit like Gene Schmidt in office is what it is, dude. And I've never liked this woman either, by the way, because she's been one of the people that's been trying to do away with the House death penalty for a while now. Which we need to have we not only need to have a death penalty in the state, we need to actually add firing squad to our death penalty right now, which is actually another thing we could add as an amendment too, by the way, if we have a 50% plus 1 vote after August 8th. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it for that article, though. So basically, they are deceiving. The left is deceiving. They're 100% conning people. If they wanted to actually make that ad, okay, that's fine. Make it with a woman congresswoman. Have it be an actual woman grabbing the condom, not some fucking guy. A woman who was the chick that actually was behind the whole fucking thing. But oh no, you're not going to do that because you're acting as if men are the ones that want to control, quote unquote, your bodies, even though your body ends where the fucking baby in the uterus begins, you dumb cunts. And that's the problem I have with these fucking people so much, honestly. It's not your body. It's another human being inside of you. End this fucking story, dude. And then, of course, you got these fucking cunts of the Progress Action Fund saying the end of their stupid little 30-second ad by Republicans are obsessed with telling every Ohioan what they can and cannot do with their own bedroom. GOP really should stand for good old pervert or grand old perverts. Yeah, except they're not telling what to do in the bedroom, dude. What they're telling you is don't use fucking abortion as birth control. Don't kill a kid in the fucking womb at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 months, moment of birth, or even after, depending here and there. Because that's what they're doing right now, honestly. You have California recently trying to pass legislation where you can kill a kid up to 28 days after birth, dude. How fucking demonically insane is that, honestly? It is completely psychotic. You have gone to Looney Tune land at that point. You were talking about literal infanticide at that point, man. And it just blows my mind that we're even allowing these people to remain in office after that fact. Like that right there, right then and there. The second you submit that kind of legislation, dude, you should be dragged the fuck out in handcuffs and never see the light of day ever again. Pretty much on death row after that, waiting to be executed for mass genocide is what it is. So, anyway. But yeah, speaking of stuff we could do, obviously this is hypotheticals, just to be clear here. We're not actually going to try to push for any of this stuff if Ohio has 50% plus 1 after August 8th. But yeah, things the right could do if we have 50% plus 1. Institute a purge in the state of Ohio once a year. where it would be legitimate like the movie The Purge, you know, for 12 hours, 12 continuous hours, you can commit any crime, including murder. So, or it could be something like, I don't know, adding a bunch of stuff to the death penalty in the state of Ohio, which would actually be a good one, truthfully speaking. That might actually be one I do try to go for, actually, at some point in the future, as a amendment to the Constitution. I'm trying to think what else now. Every legal adult in the state of Ohio has to own a gun as long as they're not a convicted felon. And if they don't own a gun, we can legally kick their asses out of the state. That would be another one. You know, obviously, again, hypothetical. Not really going to do this, but, you know, again, you want to go nuts, leftists? Let's go fucking nuts. Trying to think what else. Ban sagging. That would be a good one, especially considering the fact that you have that particular culture essentially being nothing more than a bunch of gay person shit. So, but nobody ever realizes that one. That was basically a thing about 30, 40 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, is when that started, really. Like the late 80s, somewhere in there. When you had, or it may have been back to the 70s now I'm thinking about it. But either way, it was basically you had gay guys in prison who would sag their uniforms down a little bit because they wanted it, you know, taking the ass or something like that. And yeah, it just turned into a culture out in the everyday world is what it was, man. Because a lot of the guys that got out of prison did the same shit outside of prison is what it was. And then it caught on like wildfire. And first the black community, and then, of course, across the whole spectrum of Americans now. So, yeah. And then, of course, there's other, you know, crazy shit out there. Like I said, I think instituting a purge would be the best one, probably. Just for shits and giggles. Because it's like, yeah, you want to enshrine, you know, child murder in the state of Ohio? Okay, let's enshrine all murder in the state of Ohio for 12 continuous hours. One time a year. But, yeah, I don't know. Actually, another one we could do would be to enshrine the right of all weapons being legal in the state of Ohio, including RPGs, grenades, etc., for civilian usage. Because that would be a total ban of the NFA at a state level then. You could do... trying to think what else now. I feel like I had a couple in the back of my head that like just sort of skipped out now. Because I can't really think of them offhand right now, but yeah. So basically, it would be a whole thing, though. And this is what I'm saying. Like, this is the problem with the left in a nutshell, though, is they want to sit there and they want to go for broke and they want to commit heinous atrocities on society. Because in reality, and I'm going to say it like it is, I believe that they are demonic. I believe that 100% these people are, in most cases, especially Democrat politicians, have made demon deals with crossroads demons, just like in the show Supernatural. And it's something where they've either been overtaken by a demon in their lifetime now, or they are pushing for such insane shit because their time has like basically come up and they have to push for this stuff or they're going to go to hell and become a demon themselves is what it is. And it makes a lot of sense when you think about it from that perspective. So you literally have a war of good and evil is what it is. You literally have people who are trying to protect human life, who are trying to protect the Second Amendment from tyrannical overreach, etc. And you have these people that are trying to do away with our, you know, gun rights, our right to life, etc., etc. And what's even more ridiculous to me is, it's kind of funny, actually. I was on the Ohio subreddit last night, and I swear to God, that you might as well call that No on Issue 1 subreddit at this point. That's really what it is. Like, and this is what pisses me off about the moderators of that subreddit too. It's like they could have created a giant mega thread to just be like, hey, if you want to post stuff about voting no, post it in this big ass thread here. Don't make every fucking post on this subreddit that should be about things going on in the state of Ohio, whether it be fairs, festivals, etc., you know, various events, things like that, about your fucking anti-issue 1 shit is what it is, dude. So the problem is they don't do that. And what's sad and kind of funny at the same time is you now have the left eating itself on that subreddit because you had a dude yesterday who was like, "Oh, I'm actually on your guy's side on the vote no and stuff like that." That's what this dude was saying in the thread there, and he's like, "But dude, like, enough with the fucking no on issue 1 fucking post is what it is." Because he's like, "The shit is cringy as fuck," and he's right about that. And that's the problem, is you have these people that are like, "Oh, I'm gonna go out there and act like fucking Reddit is real life or Twitter is real life," and then have like, a few hundred people at most sitting there posting shit. And I think that's basically what it is. It's been like, from what my understanding from when I looked at this post and stuff like that, it's maybe like a few dozen to like 100 or so, give or take. And they act as if like that's the majority in the state of Ohio, when in reality, you're going to have a lot of people vote yes on this, as they should be, because it's like, yeah, if you don't want your gun rights taken away, if you want to actually protect human life, if you want to, save this state from just psychotic shit from either side of the fucking aisle at this point, becoming, potential amended laws in our state by amendments and stuff like that in the future, have issue 1 pass, get us to a 60% threshold, and we're not going to be fucking insane after that, dude. You wouldn't see legal purges. You wouldn't see all kinds of crazy shit come out of the woodwork. And that's the one thing, too, about really bothers me, too, about the leftists entirely. They're always like, people are always like, "Oh, but they want to make America like Gilead." You fucking dumbasses didn't even know what Gilead was until that stupid fucking Handmaid's Tale show came out a few years ago, dude. Because you're fucking retarded and you're goddamn illiterate, dude. You fucking dumb fucks don't even know how to read in most cases. You never read the books that whole entire show was based on. And by the way, I'm going to point something out right now. The woman that fucking made the books that show was based on, that actually wrote the books that show was based on, fucking admitted in multiple interviews that she could not use Islam as the fucking basis for the shit because she didn't want to die at the hands of a fucking Islamic terrorist, dude. Because that's what Gilead really was. It was fucking Sharia law underneath Islam. All you have to do is look that shit up and you can tell the fucking thing going on there, dude. Like, that's who does forced pregnancies. That's who does, all kinds of shit. That's who treats women as second-class citizens and stuff like that. And I'm just sick and tired of it. Just sick and tired of all of it. So, anyway. I thought I was going to go longer in this episode, but I don't think I am, actually. I think we pretty much said everything we're going to say now in the last 17 minutes now. So at this point, it would just be a moot point to actually go on and do anything else today. Plus, I'm kind of hungry now. It's almost 4 o'clock my time. So... Anyway, yeah, I'm pretty much just over it, man. I'm over it. I think everybody else is too. I can't wait for August 8th to happen already. And we just get it done, man. We just hopefully become the 42nd state that has a 60% threshold on our state constitution, so you don't have a bunch of assholes that are out-of-state special interests, Bloomberg types, Soros types, fucking ACLU that's paid for by Soros, trying to amend our constitution is what it is. Oh, for those that haven't heard, by the way, I guess in the last couple days, you've now had multiple chapters of the ACLU are now trying to sue, I believe it's Texas, Missouri, and I forget what other state it was, that all ban the quote-unquote gender-affirming care shit in their states, which obviously is to stop child sterilization with all the hormone drugs and things like that. So, yeah, you're on the wrong side of history when you're literally trying to sterilize children, dude. That's all I'm going to say about that one. And if you think you're not, you clearly are, man. And that's really what this is about, honestly. If you actually look into the amendment that that the Democrats and the leftists are trying to push forward here in Ohio come November with enshrining abortion in our state constitution, it's not just abortion. It's a literal copy and paste document of the same exact bullshit that they pushed through about a year ago in Michigan through a ballot amendment. And when you looked at it back then, it was abortion, it was child sterilization without parental consent, it was allowing kids to put on hormone blockers without the parents being involved. It was to allow kids to go get abortions without their parents being involved, et cetera, et cetera. And it's exactly what Ohio is right now. It's exactly what they're trying to push here in November. It's exactly the whole thing that got 700,000-ish signatures on it in multiple counties there, which we still don't have the number, which is funny to me that you have that basically being about, I think it was almost 2 weeks ago now, that they finally submitted that stuff on like the 5th, I believe it was like, it was either 5th or 6th of this month. So it's been about 10 days, give or take now. And yeah, we still don't have the numbers of exactly how many signatures were valid on that ballot and stuff like that, dude. If it was the 430-something thousand they need, or if it was like 395,000, or if it was like 600,000 for all we know. But again, that's the whole point, though, is you have them getting less than a fourth of the people that are actual voters in this state to sign on to that crap. And yet they want to sit there and claim they're the majority in the state. It's like, no, dude, you're not the majority in the state. People don't want literal human sacrifice up to the moment of birth, which is exactly what abortion is at the end of the day. When you're taking a kid that is 4, 5, 6, 7 months along or longer, and you were having some sick ass demonic motherfucker yank that kid out of the fucking womb and basically slit his throat as they're doing that shit, or using some kind of crazy ass like suck vac machine that just sucks the fucking kid out of you. Like, nah, bro. That is some demonic murderous shit right there. It's just like that motherfucker in Pennsylvania some years back. I forget what that guy's name is, like Gosnell or something like that, who thank God is dead now. That son of a bitch. He was killing kids in some abortion clinic over there that were legitimately 7, 8, 9 months along. Human babies, newborns, and just throwing them in the fucking trash like they were nothing. And he did it to like, I think it was like several hundred to several thousand kids. Like, it was just insane. And it's like, how the fuck do you get away with that shit, dude? Like, how are you not immediately put to death after that? Is my question. So, yeah, it just infuriates me to no end, honestly. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and throw the StreamYard link out in the comments there if anybody wants to jump in the back chat here, because I'm gonna finish up here in a minute or two. But yeah, I'll be hopefully back tonight with Honda and company in about 6-7 hours. Whenever he wants to start that chat, potentially tonight for the Gay Frogs over there on Rumble. Hopefully we actually do one. I don't know. He's been very, hesitant these last couple of weeks of like just sort of fucking off. But then again, it's like the Tuesday chats. It seems like it's not really the Sunday ones, the Tuesday ones. So I'm assuming we'll have a Sunday one tonight, but who knows about Tuesday though. So anyway, I would have done a takeover last week, but I was just tired and I didn't feel well. So anyways, it takes a lot of work to get that shit done. And I understand from his perspective, it takes a lot more work to do it on Rumble only and stuff like that, because you got to jump through like 2 more hoops or something like that to do the stuff. So that's the problem when it comes to that site, though. They really do need to be able to interface for everybody to use it, and they could actually be a real competitor to YouTube here. So if you could do like direct to Rumble, that'd be nice. But yeah, nothing else. It's a good backup site and stuff like that for backing up, streams and things like that. And so anyway, that's pretty much it for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you live in Ohio, vote yes on issue 1, either anytime now to August 8th or vote on election day on August 8th. Enshrine the 60% into our state constitution for the voter threshold to do amendments, and we can actually have a better state constitution overall. We wouldn't have douchebag outsiders like Bloomberg, Soros, the Rothschild family, the Rockefellers, etc., trying to fuck with our state constitution here. You wouldn't have Planned Parenthood chapters from other states and, pretty much WEF, etc., trying to fuck with our state constitution is what it is, man. So, anyway. Till later. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.